And the third column, it is called new actions. What are the new actions you can take to change the results? So let me give you an example. Every time I work with business owners, I work with entrepreneurs. Many business owners always blame this group of people. They always blame their staff. Isn't it true? They always blame their employees. They say, Adam, my business can be better if I got better employees. My business can be more successful if I got better employees. They say, Adam, my competitor, they got better staff. Why can't I get better staff? Why are my staff so lazy? And they blame the staff. They say my staff are lazy. When I first hire them, they are motivated. But after a while, they become lazy. How many of you find this to be true sometimes? That some of your staff are lazy? Any of you? Staff are lazy? Okay? Or they say, my staff, they are not motivated. Or they are not proactive. They are reactive. Okay? Let me ask you a question. As long as we blame our staff, will our business change? As long as we blame our staff, will our business change? Our business will never change. Right? Because if we blame our staff, remember then our staff are controlling our business. We are not controlling our business. So if we want to change our business, we need to take charge. We need to take responsibility. So as a boss, we must ask ourselves, how are we creating the situation? Why are my staff lazy? Why are they not motivated? How am I creating it? What are the decisions I'm making? What are the actions I'm taking that's creating this problem? So for example, how can a boss take charge? The boss will say, maybe they are lazy because I did not hire the right staff, right? I did not recruit the right staff. So maybe it's because of the way you recruit your staff. During the interview, you did not ask the right questions. You did not select the right person. Or it could be you selected the right person, but you did not do enough training. You did not train them. And that's why they do not perform, that's why they become lazy. Or it could be because you hire the right staff. You train them, but they are not motivated. Why? Because of the wrong way you pay them. The compensation. Let me give you an example, like in Singapore. In Singapore, I've got about 24 trainers, teachers. Yeah. Now, most of my competitors, they pay their teachers fixed pay. You know fixed pay? So they pay a fixed pay of, for example, they pay maybe fixed pay of 2,000 US dollars, fixed pay. So they work more, 2,000. They work less, 2,000. So what do? They work less. But my company is different. My company, I pay my trainers low fixed pay. I pay my trainers about $500. But I pay them commissions. I pay them commissions, I pay them training fees. So the more hours they train, the more they teach, the more money they get. They teach more, they earn more. They teach less, they earn less. And how much can they make? Unlimited. If they are a good trainer, they get a lot of customers, they can earn a lot of money. For example, in my business, I'm the chairman in my company, right? I'm the chairman. But do you know some of my trainers, some of my teachers, they can earn more than me? Yes. If they train more hours, if they teach more, they can earn more than me. My trainers can also earn more than my CEO. So the way I do my business is very fair. We pay based on performance. We pay based on result. The person who gets the most result will get paid the most. So everyone is motivated. So that makes a difference. So the moment I take responsibility, I am creating the situation. Then I can take new actions. I can begin to do new actions. I can change the way I recruit people. Where I carefully select the right people to join my company. I won't choose anyone. I only choose people who do more than expected. I only choose people who are proactive. And when I hire people, I make sure what do? I do a lot of training. I train them to have the right mindset, to have the right skill set. And I make sure I pay them. So the more they work, the more money they earn. Right? So right now, how many of you have had a business partner before? How many of you have had a business partner before? Okay. How many of you have had a bad business partner before? How many of you have had a business partner who cheated you before? How many of you had a business partner who cheated you before? Oh, so many of you. You know what? So did I. So did I. Okay? And I give you an example. What happened was about 6 years ago, I've got this man who is a very good interior designer. He designs houses. Very good interior designer. And he's quite old, he's about 60 years old. And he's actually one of the top interior designers in Asia. He designed many of the banks, many of the hotels. And he read about me in the newspapers. So one day he called me up and he said, Adam, I'm a very good designer, but I'm bankrupt. I've got no money, bankrupt. And he explained, he said, because last time my company, I built it to very successful. But then he told me, he said, my wife, take my money and run away with my director. Right? So they cheated me, and that's why now I've got no money. I said, Adam, I'm a very good designer. I said, Adam, if you are my partner, we can make millions of dollars. Right? And he did the calculation for me, and he projected. He said, Adam, if we start the business, you put in the money, I will be the designer. Okay? And we can make so much money. And he showed me all the money we can make. Few $100,000, few million US. So when I look at the money, I go, my eyes open. I'm very excited. I say, wow, okay. So I put in the money. I put in about $500,000 into the business. Do I know anything about interior design business? Nothing. But I thought it's okay. He's the interior designer. Let him run everything. So I don't look at the bank. I don't look at the business. He run everything. And so the business was running. And every month he called me. He said, Adam, business very good. We closed the sales. We got so much sales. So I was very happy. I said, good. Oh. Okay? And a few months later, what happened was, a customer called me. And he said, we hired the company to do the house, the interior design. We pay the company, but they don't do the house. I said, why? So I went to check with my accountant in the company. I said, why is it the customer we're not building the house? After they paid the money. And the accountant said, we got no more money. I said, huh? What do you mean we got no more money? I thought there's very good sales. I thought I put in $500,000. They say, no, there's no sales. And later I found out that my partner, he has been taking out the money. Every month he takes out the money and he spends the money. And when a customer hires the company, when they put in the money, instead of using the money to build a house, he takes the money and he pays his old debts. He pays what he owes other people. And the next thing I knew what happened, the company had no more money. And many people started suing the company. Now that company has got two directors. I'm one director and my partner is one director. And what happened was my partner, eventually, he himself got bankrupt because the bank sued him. And in Singapore, when you are bankrupt, you cannot be a director. So he resigned as a director. So now the company has got how many directors? Me. And I'm now the only director of the company, and the people are all suing the company. So I had to go through my lawyers, and it was a very, very painful experience I went through. In the end, I lost a lot of money. And it affected my reputation as well. And after that, what happened? I said at first, it's not my fault. It's because of the partner is dishonest. The partner cheat my money, right? But later I told myself, if I blame him, then I will never learn the lesson. Next time I will continue to be cheated by other people. So instead I take responsibility. I say the reason I lose my money is because I was greedy. It's because before I make the company my partner, I did not check his background. I did not monitor the business. And that is why I lost money. So I begin to take responsibility. Later I found out, by talking to many people in the design industry, that this man has cheated many other people. I'm not the first one. I'm the fifth one. He has cheated many businessmen. So I told myself, it is my fault. I did not do my research. I did not do my due diligence. So because of that experience, today am I a better businessman? Let me go on to share with you the next concept that has helped me a lot. And the concept is this, that we know in life things don't always go the way we want. Life doesn't always go the way we want. But we have a choice to let things control our emotions. Or we can control our own emotions. And there's a formula I'd like to share with you, which is this. And the formula goes, E plus R equals to O. Right? And what does this mean? I'll show you where it is on the notes in a while. Don't worry. I'll show you it's in the notes later. Yeah? So just take a look at this for a while. And what does E stand for? E stands for event. Event. Okay? Let's all say it together. Everyone say event. Event. Okay. What's an event? An event is anything that happens to us. For example, if you're born in a poor family, that's an event. If you're born in a rich family, that's an event. You've got a good wife, that's an event. You've got a lousy wife, that's an event. The economy going through the recession, that's an event. Your company wins business, that's an event. Your staff leaves your company, that's an event. So events are things that happen to us all the time. Some events can be good, and some events can be bad. Now, can we control every event that happens to us every day? Can we control every event that happens to us every day? Yes or no? No, we can't. Right? Like for example, imagine you're a windsurfer. You know windsurfing? As a windsurfer, can you control where the wind is blowing from? Can you control where the wind is coming from? You can't control the wind, right? So if you're windsurfing and the wind changes direction, and if you blame the wind, you say, stupid wind. Right? Can you control the wind? You can't control the wind, so why blame the wind? There's no point blaming something you can't control. But you can't control the wind. Can you control your sail? You can control your sail. The wind changes direction. And if we change our sail, we can still go in the direction we want to go. But you see, a lot of people in life, they believe that the event is what creates the outcome. They believe the event creates the outcome. So they believe, because I'm born in a poor family, so I got no money, I got no opportunity, that's why I'm poor. Or they believe that the economy is in a recession, so there's no customer, so that's why my company goes bankrupt. Or I got a lousy partner, I got a lazy partner, so my business will fail. A lot of people, they blame the event, right? People who are very successful, is it because they got all the good events? People who are very successful, is it because everything goes the good way, the way they want it to go? Yes or no? No. We know that some of the most successful people in the world, they go through the worst events. The worst things happen to them. They got the worst partners, the worst family, the worst economy, but they are still successful. Why? Because they believe the event does not affect my outcome. But what affects my outcome is the way I react or the way I respond to the event that affects the outcome. Everyone, let's say this together. Everyone say respond. Respond. Okay? So out of 100%, thank you. Respond, right? Out of 100% of the outcome, 10% comes from the event. But 90% comes from the way that we respond. Now we can't change this. We can't change this. But can we change this? Can we control this? We can't control this. We can't control what happens in the outer world. But we have absolute control what happens in the inner world. So let me give you an example. How many of you have ever worked very hard on something before? You have worked very hard on a business, or you worked very hard on a relationship, but it failed. How many of you have experienced this before? All of us, right? All of us, right? Okay. So when you work very hard on something, you do your best and it fails. How do you feel? How do you feel? You feel angry? You feel disappointed? Do you feel happy? Do you feel motivated? Do you feel like giving up? Now, do we all feel the same thing? When all of us fail, we get a bad event, do we all feel the same thing? Do we feel the same thing? Who says yes? Who says no? The answer is no. We all feel differently, right? Depending on how we choose to respond. I give you an example. Let's say, for example, a person works very hard, but they lost the business. They lost the business. How will they feel? Depends. Some people, how will they respond? They will respond by saying, why? Why did this happen to me? Why am I so unlucky? Why am I so stupid? I'm such a failure. It's too difficult. I can never succeed. I'm giving up. Right? And if you respond this way, how do you feel? You feel like giving up and you will not take action. And what's the outcome? Will you succeed? You won't succeed. But some people, they go through that same failure. They lose the business, but they respond differently. They say, you know what? What can I learn from this? How can this make me a smarter businessman? How can this make me better than before? How can I learn from this? So next time, I can win a bigger deal than what I just lost. And if they respond this way, will they be more motivated to change and to take more action and get better results? Yes or no? Yes. So it depends on how you choose to respond. Let me share with you a story of a person I know who is very, very inspiring in Singapore. Can I go back to the slides? Okay. Let me tell you the story of this person. This person was featured on the front page of the newspaper in Singapore, and his name, he's the man in the center. He's the man in the center over here. This man, over here, the center. His name is Mr. Lim Yao Tong. And what happened was this man, many years ago, in his late 20s, when he was about 20 to 30 years old in Singapore, he started a company called Emporium. And he worked very hard to build this company, Emporium, and he became one of the biggest shopping centers in Singapore. Right? One of the most famous shopping centers in Singapore. So last time, every time someone wants to buy something, they go to Emporium. Very famous. So he was a multi-millionaire. He was a successful businessman. But what happened? In the 1980s, as you know, Asia went into a very bad recession. And Singapore also went into a very bad recession. And he was hit with all the worst events. Singapore went into a recession, and many competitors from Japan, from America, from London. They came to Singapore. New shopping centers came. And his company did not change fast enough. His company did not improve. And people stopped coming to his company, to his shopping center. And after a few years, his business collapsed. His business went bankrupt. Can I go back to the slide, please? Back to the slide. His business went bankrupt. And a few years after that, he himself was declared a bankrupt. He was declared a bankrupt, lost everything. And he was declared a bankrupt at the age of 72 years old. 72. Now guess how much money he owed the bank? You know how much he owed the bank? He owed the bank about 60 million US dollars. He was 60 million US dollars in debt at 72 years old. Now let me ask all of you a question. Imagine if you are 72 years old and you went bankrupt and you owed 60 million US. How will you respond? Most people, they'll say what? It's over. I'm too old. I'll never make it back. God, why do you do this to me? Why? Right? And they'll respond by saying what? I'd rather die. And they take the gun. But the amazing thing was this guy, Mr. Lim Yao Tong. Go to the slide again, please. This guy, Mr. Lim Yao Tong. Okay? He had what we call the winner's mindset. The winner's mindset. Everyone say winner's mindset. Let's say it together. Winner's mindset. One more time. Winner's mindset. He had the winner's mindset. What happened was when he lost everything, the reporters in the newspapers, they came to interview him and they asked him, how do you feel? How do you feel? Right? The last 30 years, all your money is all gone. You are lost all your money. How do you feel? You know what he said? He said, it's not gone. I'm still a millionaire. I'm still rich. They said, huh? Are you okay? Are you crazy? You're bankrupt. What do you mean you're rich? And he said, this man said, he said, my true wealth, my true riches is not how much money I have in the bank. My true wealth is not what is in a car, is in a house. He said, my true wealth is what is here. He said, my true wealth is my mindset, my ideas, my experience, my knowledge. He said, here I'm still a millionaire. And he said, they can take away my house, they can take my car, they can take all my money, but they cannot take my mindset. And he said, as long as I'm still a millionaire here, you know what? I will make it back here. And he said, at 72 years old, I will start all over again. I'll start all over again. And start from zero. Does he start from zero? Is it zero?